Alrighty, guys, do me a big favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. That helps out with the algorithm. Let's get into the video. Alright, guys, so are we in the superhero fatigue era or the bad movie era? I believe we're in a little of both. I do believe blame could go around to everybody, but the two biggest is the big studios, which is Marvel and DC. I'm definitely going to talk more about, let's say, Marvel, because Marvel and their agenda-driven stuff, more of not trying to make quality over quantity type of thing. The Disney X shows, or the Disney Plus shows played a factor too. Not doing their due diligence of trying to establish these characters how they established Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and all the other Avengers. It's a lot of stuff. But the agenda-driven stuff really hurt them more than they helped them. Clearly in their box office, you can see that. Captain Marvel was never a person to flagship this to the new era. Was probably a terrible idea. They probably did want to use Sony, but again, Spider-Man, but Sony and Spider-Man, they still got that deal going on with that. They could have figured something out. With that being said, though, Marvel is to blame on that front. And I think Marvel has really not tried to involve their formula. The Marvel formula, everybody knows it. It's the formula that made them $1 billion. However, I believe that formula is expired, outdated. I think people want a new formula. Then you probably say, well, Deadpool Wolverine does that same formula. It's not. It's a different formula. It's a little bit more spicy. They add more spice to it, which is it's rated R. So you can get away with certain things what they do. And you probably say, well, No Way Home. True, but you got to remember, with that formula, they added other stuff. You had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You had Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. You had their Rose Gallery. So that their formula worked, but they added more stuff around that formula to make it more better. That dish had more stuff on it compared to they usually did, if that makes any sense. On the Warner Brothers corner is they never involved. When I've said this multiple times, when they were doing the dark and gritty route, that was the best route to go. Now, I'm not going to sit here saying Zack Snyder, all his interpretations were done perfectly. There's some that probably should have had a different vision, a different writer on board of that, but he had the right mindset of a dark and gritty world because you're different from Marvel. That brought fans into that, other fans into it. Granted, it may not have been what Warner Brothers, they wanted that Marvel money. They wanted that Marvel money, that Disney, that they just wanted that money. But they didn't look at the long term. Zach was looking long term, knowing that we can't go do what they do. We do what they do, we're going to fall flat because eventually people are going to compare our heroes to theirs. And also people might say, is this character with Marvel? We want these people to know that this character is with DC. If you noted when Blue Beetle came out, there's a lot of people thought that blue character was with Marvel. And when you get to those conversations, that's not good. The execs don't care about that, but in the long run, fans do care about that. And also, too, stop, push with this franchises and going to the Birds of Prey, doing Joker, doing all these other things and not continuing the Aquamans of the world. Aquaman 2 came out, 2 years ago? We should have been on this third film, especially the film made $1 billion. Wonder Woman didn't do well. Maybe if you kept the same team who did the first one, you might have did better on the second one. Just keep changing things, giving directors the creative what they wanted to do, not staying focused, not getting the Man of Steel sequel off the ground that people have been wanting for years. Doing this, doing that, rushing to Justice League, doing it. DC has a lot of problems. But the biggest problem, they copying Marvel instead of doing their own thing and doing their own and going their own pace. You're going to get that money. It may not be as fast as how Marvel did because they actually took the time and did the work. You're just going to have to do the same thing. And here we are how many years later? Now people are tired of that Marvel formula and it's translating in the box office. Superman, which I'll do a video later, will not surpass Man of Steel. That's not good. I don't care how much money it made domestically, internationally, it did nothing. The reason it did nothing because you want to keep following the same suit. Nobody said follow Marvel. They said do your own thing. You hired James Gunn, and I'm not mad at James Gunn. James Gunn's gonna make his own film how he knows how to make it. But he's not the right fit to do Superman. And you can clearly see it in the box office. There was a disconnect with certain fans with this film. And I love the narrative now. Oh, this is an entry to the first film, so it wasn't going to make any money. No, y'all wanted this film to make over $700 to $800 million. That's what you wanted. That's what you expected. But you didn't get it. Now the narrative has changed, so now you want to do something different. Well, it is what it is. I believe we're in a superhero fatigue era, but I also believe we're also in the bad movie era. We're in both. But we're at a point now when these superhero movies, they have to change. They have to evolve. You can't keep doing the same thing. Marvel, I'll be honest with you, the Fantastic Four was very different. It was very science fiction-esque, and it looked different. I haven't felt like that with Marvel since the first Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier, because these films, back then, the films felt different. They weren't trying to duplicate each other. They were trying to do their own thing. The problem with Captain America Brave New World, it was trying to duplicate the Winter Soldier, but also still be something in the MCU. You can't do both. You had to stay either political thriller, you got to do, it's when it comes to stuff like that. And on the DC front, they should have stick to the dark and gritty because Marvel's not doing that. And if you look at what Marvel's doing in the box office, you clearly see the formula is no longer working. So I blame both. I blame both studios. Some will blame other people, but I blame both studios for this. So hopefully that answered my little thing on it. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, peace, have a Johnson day. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. You agree with me or you wrong? Comment, let me know. As always, Johnson out.